Ready to do this?
Sweet.
Is there anything off limits?
No.
All right, cool. I probably won't make you cry. I hope not.
You try.
I'm just kidding. So, first of all, thank you so much for being here and doing this with us. This is such a random thing, but we had to meet your friend, right? This is Jarrod from the crazy trainer from Instagram, also recognized by owning the training spot here in Orlando, in Winter Park. So tell us a little bit about that story, how long this place has been here, and how and why it all came about.
Cool. What's up? Crazy trainer, owner of the training spot.
Yeah!
Lots that goes on in there, but the training spot will be open 2 years officially next week on Monday.
Congrats.
And it got here through a bunch of obstacles and trials of life. And
Awesome,
that has been as the brand, The Crazy Trainer. And I started that brand about 4 years ago now. 5 years ago, I started this career. I was at LA Fitness.
Cool.
A solid year and a few months, but not the environment for me or the people who I was working with.
Yeah.
Went private for 11 months at a private studio, learned a lot about the business, how this whole thing kind of operates from there. Saw the difference between personal training in a facility and an environment that was facilitated to connect and build relationships versus that corporate style. So I knew I wanted to stay in that feeling of connection and love with the people I was building relationships with. So from there, that private studio, me and the owner weren't growing together anymore, and so I decided to jump to another little studio that was in the same plaza. It was in the middle building over there, and it was like a quarter or half of this little spot, and just covered in like carpet and like crap, and just not sexy. But 3 months later, the gym owner who I'd been linking up with ran out of business because he grew too fast or wanted to grow too fast.
Yeah.
I subleased the space, and then out of necessity ended up opening the training spot down here.
That's incredible.
That was, almost 2 years ago now. And now I'm here with a giant community. It was just me and 10 to 15 clients, and now it's me and 70 clients, and
Amazing,
That's
man.
amazing.
3 of the coaches, and an assistant, and lots of friends now. And
That's awesome,
community.
man. Really
That's
cool.
it. Community is everything.
Yeah.
Now, it's been a journey, 2-year journey. What was the toughest part?
There's always lots of tough parts, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, as the owner, I started this business with a partner at the time, and when him and my relationship went to shambles, financially, he went into the finances and took all the dollars, and so that was really tough because I went from at least a savings to absolutely zero.
Yeah.
We had just opened up this business, and we had probably about like 20-something clients, and they were all people that I was seeing, but I also lived with the dude. So I was like out of his house the next day, out of money the next day, and then
Wow,
holding space for the people in here. As you know, it takes a lot to fill yourself up and to fill them up, and so I had to really learn how to focus on what I really want, what's really ahead of me, and not really at all what's behind me, because that was not going to help the present moment of mine and your moment right now,
Right.
or the relationship and the moment and the experience happening between me and my client and the athlete and
Absolutely.
the facility. Yeah.
And it's one of those
That's
things.
tough.
It's one of those things I feel like we've got a lot of similarities, and the reason why we're here and the reason why we connected is obviously Instagram is a great tool and a great platform to connect strangers, but we both know Jillian Buck, that is was an avid member of Pump Fit for, what, over 2 years?
2 years about, yeah.
Solid individual, like-minded people attract like-minded people,
Yeah.
and you said earlier when we were chatting that you have a community full of really cool people, and it's that way. But if you pursue fitness as a career, we can all know that there isn't that much money in it. You have to go through passion, right?
Yep.
But at some point, whenever you're trying to generate business through passion, it becomes a job. And it's tough. We go through this all the time of like reinventing ourselves to make sure that the passion stays alive, but the purpose is still there, right? If you can live through passion and turn that into purpose, I think that anyone will be extremely successful. But no matter how hard you try to pursue just passion, the purpose can overtake. And that's where we're at right now, which is why we're about to go on this 10-month road trip. We've given so much of ourselves, right? And this is ultimately what you've done. And I want to talk to you about this because I think it's a little bit more serious and in-depth, and you went through some really hard, dark times to show up for your community. You put yourself out and you gave yourself less to give them more. As trainers, that's our job, right? Is to fill someone else up, to serve other people, to help them reach their goals. 2 questions here, and could be loaded. what made you stay in it for them, even though you had nothing, and you can go into details. And two, at what point and why did you never give up?
I am emotionally fulfilled through this 100%. I've had $0 and no home to go to and had the biggest smile the whole day, because when I'm in here, I'm connecting with you, I'm contributing to you, and that feels good, and you're contributing to me. We're growing together. We're both significant here. We both matter here. You know, we're sharing love in a lot of ways, and we're sharing security for each other. I'm providing space for you, you're providing space for me, and even in training, like, you never know what's going to happen, right? It's like someone might come in and like rage and be super crazy and like ready to work out. The other person's coming in and just needs to be held, and the other person just wants to dance, and the other person just wants to hang and connect. And you know, that all those pieces of what brings, I think, a lot of us emotional fulfillment is really what drives me here and continues to do so. But when I didn't have the other needs, right, like the materialistic needs, I was fully fed emotionally.
Wow, that's incredible. Let's go into a little bit more details there. You've said it in passing. You guys were talking while I was doing something else. I have not heard anything that happened. I heard that all I heard in passing was, well, you know, after being homeless, I'm like, hang on, what? So let's go there. And it was, you were living here.
I lived here, I lived out of my car, and then I lived out of a few different spaces, because I didn't want to be here all the time, because there's energy in this building, and the environment in my head didn't need to sit in the environment necessarily in here all the time, and it was important for me to change spaces. But I did, just travel for about 2-3 months into different places and spaces.
Wow, man.
And there was, it's overall tough because there's some dark stuff. So let's see, the first month, for the most part, I was in here and in my car and in a friend's space. The second month, this dude randomly came up to me to barter services. Like we started I started training with him, and then the second week later, he had a big space, a partner, you know, and I wasn't concerned, didn't feel weird or anything. So I was like, sure, you know, I'll barter some training for a place to stay, because I could use that. That guy ended up actually committing suicide.
Oh, man.
About 7 weeks later. And
I'm sorry,
was
man.
extremely emotionally, like, it hit me, because like anything, you have survivor's guilt. Even though you can't do anything and you don't know. That, during that phase, those 2-3 months, that one hit me again. And then I think by December I left that place, because I stayed in that house for 6 weeks post what happened, because it was very cheap rent.
Right.
And I was still able to stay there.
And survive.
And I survived, and I needed this place to thrive. So
wow, that's heavy.
That was pretty heavy. And from there, I ended up being in another client's house and realized that their lifestyle and my lifestyle don't coincide, and I really quickly learned that who I'm going to become, who I surround myself with, even if it's not on purpose.
Right.
And within that month of December, I was like, I snapped. I was like, I have certainty in many areas, but I need a space. I need a place to be myself and let my freak flag fly and just to be me.
Absolutely. And I think
by January, I was like, you got to change, dude. Like, you got to trust yourself. You got to grow, and you got to talk to your clients. Be transparent. You know, be real about what you're feeling. Don't tell them everything, because not everyone needs to know that heavy shit. You know, that was hard, but I did tell them I'm not in the best place, and I was honest about some things for sure.
I think that's really important. And 2 pieces that you said there that made my brain go boom. Number 1 being, I think it was another question that kind of leads into this, but I asked it before, and I think it's a loaded question. And you've said it for other people, right? But we have this saying that we stand by, which is find your reason. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love fitness. I fell into it by accident. It wasn't something that I was pursuing. Then I found that feeling that you're talking about of like this exchange of I'm able to help you achieve your goals, and it's like you're serving other people. This is your purpose, right? No matter how much you love that, like selfishly, there's something about this space that is the reason why I'm here. And it's something that no one else can give me. I can't find it anywhere else. It's a feeling that's inside of my brain that I need this. I need this to be who I need to be. Because naturally, there's streaks, man. There's demons inside of there. And they're fucking crazy. And if I don't channel that energy and find a space to put it through, then I know that I can't be my best self, right? So that's why I'm in this. So I'm going to ask you again, ready? Why have you not given up? What is this one thing that this gives you that is intangible, that you've stuck here through everything that you've been through, man. That's really, really heavy. That's really hard. Is there something in fitness that it can give you? Or maybe you haven't found it. It took me years to find it. It's like I'm trying to find this ultimate strength by building this exterior and looking so hard, looking so fucking strong. That's vulnerability right there. Obviously, I don't feel strong if I need to work so hard to show everyone in the world that I'm this strong, right? Like, I'm trying to find something, and I finally found it for myself, but it took years, even after the success of my career. Probably, in the last 2 years, it's been like this pivotal space for me, leaning into more mindfulness, leaning into the most uncomfortable thoughts that I always knew that I'm in here for a reason. I always know that this is my purpose. I always know it's so fulfilling to be able to do this. I'm achieving great things, right? But it took me so long. It's like, why am I moving so fast? Why are we burning out and working from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.? Why? Like, even though I'm not telling anyone on the outside why, people think they know why. I didn't know why. Then I had to deeply dive into this horrible space and go through some horrible fucking places, and it was really scary, but it was like, okay, now I understand. Do you think that you've gotten there yet, or do you think that you've found something there you'd like to share as to why you're still here?
Well, why I'm still here is it makes me think of a few things. So it's like why I'm here as a gym owner, and versus why I'm here in this business of fitness. So can I answer both of those?
Absolutely.
So I fell in love with fitness. Like I don't know much about relationships necessarily, but like I fell in love with fitness as soon as I taught my first group training class. And from then on, like the vision was in there, and I never let it back out. So that's one. I stay in love with fitness because it brings mindfulness, and like we need a world of mindfulness. And the mindfulness for most people seems to start. The body is a great way to access something, right? It's a vessel. So it's like if I can get more mindful of my body, my mind, I'll probably also become more mindful. And then my spirit, I'll start to become more mindful. And I think that if we can tap into that mindfulness through the body first, and not just the rigid, muscle, but like the pieces of connection that are deeper as you've experienced, that's where we create, I think, a shift on a personal level. And I think that I've been through these shifts, and I continue to go through these shifts. And it's part of my job, it's my purpose to bridge the gap between people who have not felt that and who know they need to, but they need someone to help push that. And in my head, I'm a catalyst for it.
Absolutely, and that's so important. We said earlier in this term of anyone else walking through the room and be like, what are they talking about? We're like, it's amazing to be around people that get it. And that term, like, if you get it, you get it. I'm not going to try and explain it to you because then I'm telling you what it is. Like, you just have to feel that yourself, right? It's like, it sounds cheesy for someone that hasn't got it to listen to this conversation and be like, oh my gosh, fitness has changed my life. And it sounds like super, like, almost fake, right? It's like, but it's not. It's like, no. Like, I don't think anyone understands quite how imperative this space is for so many different reasons. And people think that we're doing this for aesthetics. People think that we're doing this to have, be able to snatch a 40 kilogram kettlebell. You know, it's like, it's not that. And if you try and peel away the layers and you strip it all away, it's a really tough place to be, and start questioning. Journaling is a big thing for me. It's like, I'm scared of my own thoughts when you go there, but we have been taught so much throughout life to like, everything's good, we're fine, we're working our way up the ladder, we're doing X, Y, and Z. So I think that's really important that you shared that with everyone. And I want you to ask all the amazing questions from what your conversation was, but the last one I have while you're thinking is, the Crazy Trainer is a pretty powerful name. Let's talk about that.
The brand, I mean, I thought it sounded really cool.
Hell yeah.
I just stopped at LA Fitness like 2-3 months later. One of my colleagues was like, do you have an LLC? Do you have a brand name? And I was like, originally I was called Death by Jarrod. That's all I was known for. I killed everybody, I crushed everybody. When they left, they were sore as hell. And I don't care if your mechanics are right or not.
Yeah.
You die. You know, so that was Death by Jarrod. And then I realized, like, I'm the crazy trainer. Why am I the crazy trainer? What is crazy? Crazy is just people who are misunderstood. Usually the craziest people are the most passionate people. And that's why I chose the name The Crazy Trainer, is because I'm extremely passionate, and to many people it comes off as crazy. And the way I'm passionate in giving, it's through movement. It's through training. Myself and to others, at least the other way. So that's why I chose the name The Crazy Trainer. I stick with it. I do think I've evolved from like a trainer to a coach. I like to think like that, but it doesn't sound the same. Crazy coach, great trainer sounds cooler, so.
I like that.
So whenever we speak about fitness, we've all fell in love with fitness. I know I've had, you have. And for people at home, whenever we talk about, oh man, fitness does things for me and to me that it's hard to explain. And some people don't get it. And because they're trying to find that thing, and sometimes they don't. Have you, and this goes for both of you guys, have you ever felt out of love with fitness? Was there a point in your life where, like, just because people seem to look at trainers, people who live, breathe fitness, and like, oh my God, it's easy for you because this is what you do. But they don't understand that it's a constant process of creating that drive and finding that drive over and over and over again. And we go through ups and lows. Have you?
Absolutely.
When?
All the time. I still do. I go through cycles, but I think that's because of my definition of fitness keeps getting jaded by my purpose and my passion turning into purpose that at some point becomes a job. Like, right? I love what I do. I fell in love with fitness for the movement, for the unknown, for not being able to do something. Like today is exactly why I started this, because in 3 months from now, you're going to be so fucking proud of me. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to show you that I can apply myself.
Proud of you.
Hell yeah, I can't wait.
With you.
But that feeling of being able to achieve something, I think, was big for me. And then not to sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but then all I kept doing was achieving. And it was like, why am I doing this? Fulfillment versus achievement. I'm feeling nothing, but I'm achieving everything. And I mean, like, my cover of Oxygen magazine, supposed to be the highest point in my career. I went home and cried that night at the hotel. Like, why am I not feeling anything? They could have picked anyone in the world. They picked me. I feel nothing. And this is the epitome of what I've been working towards, right? This is exactly what I needed and thought what I wanted. And then I got there and it's like, don't feel shit. I got to recalibrate what the fuck is going on here because I've got a gym. This is going to be my forever job. I'm on this upward trajectory. But if I hate what I do, at some point I'm now an imposter, and that was my biggest fear ever. So for me, the reason why I fell off is because I kept doing it for the wrong reasons. So I continuously still, which is why we're doing what we're doing, have to reinvent myself and relearn and continue to fill my toolbox and like be a sponge and learn new things and keep applying it to be better. I think that I hate fitness when I get stagnant.
Continues to fall in love, right? How about you, man?
I started my journey in fitness. I lost like 40 pounds like 8 years ago. And I'll be honest, besides that first year, I fell off eating-wise, but I've never fallen off movement-wise, and I haven't been turned off from it either. I think a big part of it is what you already know, what you just said. I'm learning it over and over and over again. A mace is great. A steel mace is great. Cool. A kettlebell's great too. Ropes are cool. Nunchucks might be cool. Dragon sticks, who knows? Bow and arrows. But it comes down to as long as I am learning and I am reminding myself that I ain't shit.
Yeah.
I'm awesome. That's right. I ain't shit. When I just picked up a kettlebell the first time I flipped it, it felt boop. That grounding and bringing me back to that playful mindset of like, oh, you know, I'm here to learn. I'm here to create. I've had that since I've started, because I would say year 2 for me was when I was starting to get bored. I was like, man, like I squatted 365 pounds and I had no belt and I went all the way ass to grass, and missionary sex is so good up to what point? Okay, like I need something. I need something different. And I saw a kettlebell one day, and I was like, okay, cool. I did a Turkish get-up. Holy crap! Like I've never even had to use my brain like this before. Then I saw kettlebell juggling, and then I tried the juggling, and then I saw Leo with the mace, and I was like, whoa, that looks interesting. Like I want to try that, and then I tried that, and then I even tried to have little Indian clubs over here. Indian clubs. And I just keep on learning, and I think that's the big piece, is whether it's surrounding yourself with people who can remind you to do that, or just really taking the time to go, to tell yourself what you already know. It's like, I need to go learn something new. Yeah. Because
it's time.
This repetition over and over again, it's getting boring.
Yeah.
And I'll come back to it later. Like I might come back to heavy lifting, and I do sometimes, but it's important for me to continue to explore and learn and connect with other passionate individuals like yourselves, because that's been a big part of what's keeping me charged up, is knowing that I'm not alone, and I'm not on my own lonely island. There's many others who are doing it. We could just start sailing together.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
What about you?
I have fell out of love with it, and I think it was the lack of exploration. You become complacent, you become too still, and then life starts becoming too serious. It starts becoming about, like you said, the job. You got to get the job done. You got to get the job done. And when you look back, you're like, wait a second. I started this whole thing because A, B, and C is far from my daily routine. And then I mean, today I felt alive more
Yeah.
than I felt in
Forever.
so long,
Yeah.
right?
And it's so important to
Playful
continue to, yeah, man.
It's crazy.
It really is.
Crazy trainer.
Crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy training, man.
And one more thing that you said in passing that I was like, oh my gosh, we've got to go there. We were talking about family, we were talking about support systems, we were talking about people being around you, right? Like, you said, I didn't get any support, I didn't get any help. But then somewhere along the way I realized that it was never about that. What was that transitional space for you?
Well, realistically, family is unconditional love, regardless of whether we want to or not. And they're going to give me plenty of advice, unsolicited many of the times. And it took me a long time to realize that that is what was really irking me, at least for me to receive from them that love, is because their version of that was advice. And that's not what I need right now. Especially at the time, I just opened up a business. You guys aren't entrepreneurs. You guys have never even really worked out consistently. You don't really know what I'm doing. And I think that took me a long time to wrap back around and come back and say, like, I'm coming back to love with my family, and they love me differently. And they don't love me the way I think I need to be loved, which is like, I need you to say my name, I need you to tell me I'm proud of you, I need you to cheer me on, I need you to remind me that I'm great when I'm feeling low, I need you to come visit, all these things. And I realized, like, they just love me in a different way, and that's okay.
Dude, that's so crazy. I just went through that on my 30th birthday, like in January. I have an amazing family, but there's a lot of distance between certain people in my family, and I always wondered why, and I always created these stories in my head as to why it happened. And then I turned 30 and I was like, fuck this, we need a conversation, man. Like, I'm not that person. I'm intense, I'm crazy, like, I'm misunderstood a lot of the times, but like, this is family and I need my family to understand me. I need to explain the stories that I've been having in my head so that they understand maybe my behavior over the last 30 fucking years. But I also, we always do that. We romanticize the idea of what family's supposed to be, what a relationship's supposed to be like, what a career is, just life. We're supposed to go to school, get educated, we're supposed to do this. And if you fall out of this supposed to do life, then you're a failure, you're less than, or you're not worthy to be here, or there's something wrong. It's like, if we can just all let go of this mold of what we're supposed to be like, or what family's supposed to be like. This is a heavy quote, and I wish I remember the author. Maybe someone will and write it somewhere, wherever the fuck this is going. We always strive to be who we think others think we should be, right? We never, which is all bullshit. We don't know what's inside of someone's head. I don't know what you're thinking about me. I can only think what I think you're thinking of me, you know, and then all I'm doing is trying to...
You're not even here right now.
No, exactly. And all I'm trying to do is chase this unknown for something that doesn't exist. And it causes a lot of disappointment. And by the way, when I had that conversation, this is my brother that I talked to, he was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, that never happened. That's all in your head. He's like, let me tell you how I felt. So through communication and being able to have hard conversations and doing stuff like this, of like being vulnerable, they're incredible places to be at. And we've been pushed so far away from it that it's weak if you're vulnerable. You've got to be strong, which is why I started this whole thing, right? It's like, that's so the opposite of what this is all about. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Do you have any more questions, Dave?
Through vulnerability.
Yeah, right?
And, well, tell us more about what's the next step for you. What do you envision this place going, yourself going? Tell where people can find you. And
yeah,
plug it all, bro. Drop it.
Orlando, Florida, the Training Spot LLC. As someone who's building a culture, I see myself continuing to build this culture and finding other passionate individuals and mindful individuals who really do love what they're doing. They just need to have an environment that facilitates that love. Because what you guys went through and what I still have to watch what I go through is, I want to stay the coach, I want to play certain roles, I got to delegate many of the other things to other people. And so I want to be the facilitator for these incredible coaches that deserve a great living and that want to do this for life, and they just need this space that holds them for that. So I want to be someone who facilitates that space, especially someone who's been through the coaching world and has seen so many sides already. Like, I want a gym one day in a culture where I walk into, and what we just went through, learning, is fucking welcome.
Yes.
Because when we drop it, we go, Oppa, I'm excited for you because you tried something new. You know what that means? You access flow state when we do that. We literally are being challenged, but just enough where we can grow. And that to me is when we access that flow state, that peak state of mind and presence. You know, so I want a facility and a culture of gym, right, in the world that does that.
Yeah.
That says, hey, you're welcome to come and bring your mace. bring your kettlebell, try your power lifts. It's all good here because we're here and we're just encouraging your growth.
Yep.
For
No
real.
weight shaming, no judgment,
judge you
no
because
conversation.
else I'm not even here with myself and I'm judging you. I'm literally not getting the value out of the moment right now. So I want to see the fitness world change in that way, and I think that as a space I can help facilitate that. As the crazy trainer, I want to keep doing this. I'm just leaving my anchor more this year and starting to realize I need to get out there and bring the crazy trainer out there to connect individuals. And I would like to teach workshops one day, whether it's with kettlebells, maces. I just want to help build culture and where fitness could and should be, and more on the wellness side versus where where it's been and where it has been. Where it put you in the chains, right? That it felt like you were in because we had ego running this whole thing the whole time, where the mind and the spirit is what's running the body anyways at the time. So it's like tap into what you're feeling. We feel with the body and the emotions, and then you're gonna go with the thoughts, But I think if we can have a whole encompassing culture of that, that's the direction I want to be, and I'm a catalyst and someone who wants to do that.
Absolutely, man. That's incredible. Well, I have to say, we get to meet some really cool people in this industry, and I don't give a shit about recognition, X, Y, and Z. That's not why we're here. That's not why we do what we do. We, again, want to be around people that have a very mutual feeling towards this space, and you've done an incredible job, man. You really have. The fact that the way that Jill talked about you before I even knew who you were was remarkable. Like, your mindfulness and your Zen state is shining through. So congratulations, dude. We wish you nothing but the best. And if anyone is in Orlando, Florida, if you do not come to the training spot, you're a fool. Get over here. Juggle some shit.
I'm from Miami. You're cool.
Yeah, right? Right? Don't they say that?
I'm from Miami, born and raised.
Yeah. But is there anything else that you want to tell these guys? Where can they find you?
On Instagram at the Crazy Trainer, at thecrazytrainer.com, and that's pretty much it. At the training spot, brick and mortar. Do you want my phone number?
Hey, throw it out there. You might get some more dick pics, bro.
No more dick pics. No more unsolicited advice or pictures.
Send all of the dick pics. I repeat, send all of the dick pics.
Oh god, cut that off.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Dude, thank you so much for welcoming us in your home, sharing your knowledge, sharing your passion.
Oh yeah.
And as we continue to, go through this entire country, finding more people like you, you better believe that there's going to be a chapter, man, with your name, with your spot, with your craft, because we're going to try our best to become better at it, right, baby?
Absolutely. And by the way, everyone meet my new coach.
There you go.
Let's go. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it.
I appreciate both of you.
Bro.
That was awesome.
Thank you so much.
Boom.
All
This
right.
bump here.
Nice work,
Thanks, homie.
I'll get polished.
He still doesn't get it.